Channel, everyone. I hope you're okay. I can totally understand if you're feeling in the doldrums, thinking that somehow your country has gone absolutely insane, because I feel exactly the same way. I'm hoping that my videos that I put out through the Christmas period is going to make you a bit more cheery. I'm going to give you some more information, and maybe things are not as bad as they could be or would be, considering all the actions that Boris Johnson and the British government and parliamentary system have done in the last few months, if not for the whole year. But before I carry on with this video, may I ask you to subscribe, may I ask you to hit that bell button and then select all, so you're able to see every video that I upload in the future. So let's get started. So we all know that Boris Johnson had decided to close down the country, or good part of the country, Essex, East London, the east of Britain, due to this so-called second strain of COVID that seems to be a bit more heavier, a bit more nastier than the last strain. However, it's not, because the vaccine that they've got for the first strain is going to be doing exactly the same thing for the second strain, but it's a bit more infectious. And that's why he's decided to close down London. However, I done a video yesterday on my thoughts on that, so I'm not going to go too deeply into it. What I do want to talk about is the aftermath of what Boris has done to our country. I'm pretty sure pretty soon after Boris Johnson decided to turn our country into tier 4 and turn it into a shithole, that you started to see reports in reference to Europe literally closing their borders to people as well as freight, which is true. I mean, it says here on the Mail Online that ports chaos could last until Christmas Eve. Macron says he will open borders, but insists all drivers must have a negative COVID test upon arrival. But French haulage unions, there's a bloody typical thing, stoke strike fears because no trucker wants to deliver to Britain. Says here, the port of Dover, Kent, was dramatically closed for all freight vehicles leaving the UK for the next 48 hours. Hauliers coming to the UK will be allowed, but there are fears that drivers won't travel to avoid being marooned in our country. Again, I can't blame them. It's got nothing to do with them. It's all to do with Boris Johnson, our parliament, our government, the whole lot. They're the ones that have caused these problems. Countries including France, Germany, Italy, Belgium, Poland have announced restrictions on the UK travel. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, dickhead, will hold crisis talks with the ministers today as he chairs Cobra committee meetings to work out how the fuck he fucked up our country so badly, which we all know why, right? Port of Dover later confirmed inbound freights will still arrive, and France said movement would still resume, which is good. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. This whole strain, which I'm going to talk about in a second in reference to a German scientist, he believes it's not as bad as people are making out. And to be fair, even when Boris Johnson and the so-called SAGE team decided to bring up this bullshit, I just knew it was all crap, all rubbish. It says here, Britons could be facing shortage of food, which is rubbish. We've got more than enough food in supermarkets, more than enough food in the shop, so that's crap. It's just a way of making you guys run for the toilet rolls again. Fucking toilet rolls. Through the festive period, with port chaos causing France's coronavirus travel plan set to last until Christmas Eve. Please, I'm asking every single bloody one of you, do not run to your nearest Sainsbury's or Tesco's or Asda's or Aldi's and start buying shitloads of toilet roll. Okay? There's going to be plenty of food. There is plenty of food in the supermarkets. The supermarkets have like bloody massive warehouses full of food that they can pipe into their supermarkets at any point. We will not have a shortage. I promise you, we will not have a shortage. Please, I'm asking you not to go to Tesco's and other shops and start binge bloody buying, okay? France imposed an inbound travel ban from 11 p.m. last night amid the spread of the mutant COVID-19 strain. which plunged London and the southeast into tier 4. It didn't. The strain didn't plough London into tier 4. Boris Johnson did. Let's get it quite clear. But it's not as bad as people are making out. Right, so what else has happened because of Boris Johnson's actions? More than 50 billion is wiped off the FTSE 100 as markets fall to 2.6%, down 171 to 6,358 points after Boris ploughed. That's better. After Boris ploughed London and the South East into tier 4, sparking ports chaos amid escalating no-deal Brexit fears, which is a load of bollocks. FTSE 100 index is down, which I've just said. Biggest fallers include IAG down 16%, Rolls-Royce down by minus 9%, and Lloyd's down by 6%. Right, so is this all been worth it? Well, I don't think so. A top German COVID expert pours scorn. I love that word. Don't you just love that word? A top German COVID expert has poured scorn on Boris Johnson's mutant strain, claims saying that politicians simply called it 70% more infectious. Who's actually seen any evidence to say that it is more infectious? Anyone? I've looked on Twitter, I've looked on Google, I've looked on everything, and I can't see any written information in reference to it and the backing of it, a scientific paper on it, that somehow this strain is more potent. There is nothing. There is nothing. A top German virologist heavily played down fears about Britain's mutant virus strain today, saying he was not worried and questioned Boris's claim that it's more than 70% more infectious than the last one. There you go. Christian Drosden said that 70% figure was simply called that, suggesting that preliminary scientist estimates might have been overblown by politicians. There's a bloody thing. You put these scientists together and you put politicians together and you get a mix of fucking shit. Absolute shit. So, the good news is that Europe hasn't actually closed all their borders to us. We are still moving food in and out of our countries, don't worry. Please do not go to supermarkets and start buying shitloads of toilet paper and whatever you feel you need, like, I don't know, Easter eggs, which you'll probably buy. Understand that, yes, Boris Johnson has fucked up, and he has fucked up big time. But it's all going to come to a head. And Boris Johnson hopefully will be kicked out of his job. The Conservative Party hopefully will not put up with this for much longer. And I'm sure to believe that most of our country won't put up with this for much longer. So hold tight. If I don't see you before the Christmas break, have a fantastic one. But until then, don't be so miserable. Things will get better, I promise you.